Welcome to tonight's top news stories from around the world. You are watching Millennium News Hour and I am Tanziba Noreen. Let's get started with the headlines making waves right now. President Trump congratulates Pope Leo XIV, calls it historic for America. President Trump asks Supreme Court to cancel legal status of over 500,000 immigrants. President Trump plans to replace Ed Martin as the U.S. Attorney nominee for D.C. President Trump announced a US-UK trade deal focused on steel, autos and beef. Governor Hochul secured $500 million housing plan to make home ownership affordable statewide. Bill Gates accuses Elon Musk of killing poor children by cutting foreign aid. Leonardo DiCaprio attends Met Gala with girlfriend Victoria Charity. World leaders celebrate election of Pope Leo XIV, first American pontiff. Russia welcomed US reporters to parade as Trump rebuilt relations. Missiles and drones hit Indian bases in Kashmir, power cuts reported. Schools closed and leaves cancelled in India over Pakistan border threat. And Sue Bird becomes first managing director of US women's basketball team. You were listening to Headlines Now News in detail. President Donald Trump has said the election of Pope Leo XIV, the first American-born pope, is a great honor for the United States. Trump congratulated Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, new Pope Leo XIV, on Truth Social. He wrote, "It is such an honor to realize that he is the first American pope. What excitement and what a great honor for our country." Trump said he looked forward to meeting the new pope, calling it a very meaningful moment. He also spoke to reporters outside the West Wing, saying, "To have the Pope from America, that's a great honor. We are a little bit surprised but very happy." Trump attended Pope Francis's funeral in April and met Ukraine's President Zelensky at the Vatican. Though he once joked about becoming Pope, Trump later said he admired a neo-cardinal. The 69-year-old Pope Leo XIV is from Chicago and served in Peru before becoming a cardinal. President Donald Trump's administration has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to cancel temporary legal status for more than 500,000 immigrants. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem requested the court to end a Biden-era program that allowed 532,000 people from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela to live and work in the U.S. for up to 2 years. A Massachusetts judge, Indira Talwani, had ruled that the administration could not take away each person's status without looking at their individual case. But Solicitor General Dr. John Sauer argued in a court filing that her decision blocked one of the most important immigration policies of the current administration. He also said Judge Talwani and other judges do not have the legal power to decide on this matter under the Immigration and Nationality Act. Saur claimed that Noem has broad authority over immigration policy and that the law stops courts from reviewing these decisions. The administration has filed several cases like this with the Supreme Court. Another case involving Venezuelan immigrants with protected status is still waiting for a decision. More legal action could follow soon. President Trump said he would soon replace interim U.S. Attorney Ed Martin, his pick for the top prosecutor in Washington, D.C. Trump said Martin did not have enough Senate support for confirmation. Senator Tom Tillis said earlier this week he would not support Martin because of his ties to the January 6 Capitol riot. Martin had been serving as interim U.S. Attorney and could stay until May 20. During his short time, he removed several prosecutors who had worked on January 6 cases. Trump said he was disappointed but added that Martin was not rejected. He said a new nominee would be announced within 2 days. Trump also mentioned he may offer Martin another role in the Justice Department. Senate Majority Leader John Thune noted Martin likely wouldn't pass the Senate Judiciary Committee. Tillis said if the post had been in a different district, he might have supported Martin. President Trump announced a new trade deal between the U.S. and the United Kingdom. He said it would boost trade, reduce unfair barriers, and help U.S. farmers and automakers. Trump kept a 10% tariff on UK imports but cut auto tariffs from 25% to 10% for British brands like Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and Jaguar. He also removed the 25% tariff on UK steel. The UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer joined the announcement by phone and called it a historic day. The deal came on the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II in Europe. U.S. stocks went up after the news. Trade advisor Peter Navarro said the deal will help U.S. states like Kansas, Texas, and Iowa export more beef, dairy, and ethanol. Senate leader Chuck Schumer doubted the deal's future, warning Trump might change his mind. Trump said deals with other countries may keep higher tariffs than the UK. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Governor Kathy Hochul unveiled major housing reforms under the FY 2026 New York State budget to make home ownership more affordable. The budget allocates over $500 million for housing investments, including $100 million for pro-housing communities, $50 million for mixed-income developments, and $50 million for a new housing access voucher program to assist families at risk of homelessness. The plan also includes $50 million to build affordable starter homes, $40 million to prevent foreclosures, and another $50 million to improve storm resiliency. To stop institutional investors from inflating housing costs, new legislation imposes penalties and restrictions on large firms purchasing 1- and 2-family homes. The state will also create a $100 million pro-housing supply fund to support infrastructure projects and launch its first mixed-income revolving loan fund with a $50 million investment. Additional support includes grants for local housing policies, appraisal bias protections, tax incentives for home buyers, and a doubling of the state low-income housing credit. These reforms aim to unlock affordable housing and protect the American dream, especially in fast-growing areas like Syracuse and upstate New York, where major economic investments are driving demand. Bill Gates accused Elon Musk of harming poor children by cutting foreign aid, claiming Musk's recent actions led to the closure of the U.S. Agency for International Development. Musk's Department of Government Efficiency shut down the agency in February, and Gates criticized this decision, suggesting it could cause a resurgence of diseases like HIV, measles, and polio. In an interview with Financial Times, Gates expressed concern over Musk's cuts, stating, "The picture of the world's richest man killing the world's poorest children is not a pretty one." Gates, 69 years old, also announced plans to donate his remaining fortune to his charity, the Gates Foundation, over the next 20 years. He aims to give away his wealth before his death, emphasizing the importance of addressing urgent global issues. The Gates Foundation, which has donated over $100 billion, is set to cease operations by December 31st, 2045. Leonardo DiCaprio attended his first Met Gala with his 26-year-old girlfriend, supermodel Victoria Charity. The couple was photographed by Vogue with DiCaprio covering his face in a candid moment, while Charity stood beside him with her hand on her chest. They were also seen with former British Vogue editor-in-chief Edward Enninful. The 2025 Met Gala raised funds for the museum's Costume Institute, focusing on the superfine tailoring black style exhibit celebrating black dandyism. Though the couple did not walk the carpet before the event, they appeared at Tiana Taylor's post-gala cabaret that same evening. Charity shared in an April Vogue France interview that the couple met in Milan but preferred not to go into details. She discussed the challenges of dating someone with a larger following and explained that love gives confidence when the relationship is real. Their appearance at the Met Gala remains one of their most high-profile moments yet. Now it's time for global updates. Cardinal Robert Prevost was elected as the new leader of the Catholic Church, taking the name Pope Leo XIV. His election marked a historic moment as the first American pope. Former U.S. President Barack Obama praised the selection, wishing Pope Leo XIV success in leading the church and setting an example for people of all faiths. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer called the election a profound moment for Catholics worldwide, while Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni expressed confidence that Pope Leo XIV would provide spiritual guidance to Italians. Russian President Vladimir Putin congratulated the new pope, hoping for continued cooperation between Russia and the Vatican. French President Emmanuel Macron sent a message of peace, and Colombian President Gustavo Petro hoped Pope Leo XIV would support migrants worldwide. Leaders from across the globe, including Argentine President Javier Milei and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, also sent their congratulations, expressing optimism for the new pontificate. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. You are watching latest global updates. Russia held its Victory Day parade in Moscow, marking 80 years since defeating Nazi Germany. U.S. relations with Russia had improved under President Trump, and for the first time in years, CBS News and other U.S. outlets were allowed to cover the event. Russian President Vladimir Putin invited dozens of world leaders. China's President Xi Jinping was the guest of honor. He and Putin signed over 20 cooperation deals focusing on global stability, biosecurity, and international law. The main parade was preceded by a large rehearsal. While Russia celebrated its World War II victory, fighting continued in Ukraine. This week, a Russian drone and missile strike killed Ukrainian civilians, according to officials. Putin had declared a three-day ceasefire. Russian cheerleaders supported President Trump's efforts to stop the war. It's a great deal to stop the war, said Mikhail, but many fear the fighting will resume once the celebration ends. India said Pakistan had attacked three of its military bases in Kashmir with missiles and drones, but there were no casualties. The Indian military reported that the bases in Jammu, Pathankot and Udhampur were targeted. India stated that the threat was neutralized using both kinetic and non-kinetic means. Cities across Kashmir, including Jammu and parts of Punjab like Amritsar and Jalandhar, experienced major blackouts. Loud explosions were heard, causing panic among locals. Virendrajit Singh from the BJP said it felt like bombs were going off. Jammu resident Liaquat also confirmed hearing many blasts followed by a power outage. Pakistan denied carrying out the strikes. Information Minister Adaullah Tara rejected India's claims of missile attacks. One day earlier, India had launched missiles toward what it called terrorist camps. Pakistan responded with fighter jets and artillery. The next day, both sides accused each other of drone attacks. At least 48 people died in total, including 32 in Pakistan. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio urged both countries to avoid further escalation and open dialogue. Amid rising military tensions with Pakistan, many Indian states have taken strong steps. Punjab, Bihar, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat and West Bengal closed schools in border districts and cancelled the leaves of police and government officials. These actions followed India's strikes on what it said were terror infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir after the April 22 Pahalgam massacre that killed 26 people. Punjab shut schools in 6 border districts and cancelled all police leaves. Haryana did the same for police and health officials. Delhi cancelled leave for all government staff until further orders and prepared for emergencies. Rajasthan closed schools in 5 border districts and enforced night blackouts in Barmer, Jaisalmer and Jodhpur due to critical infrastructure. Himachal Pradesh increased border security. West Bengal also cancelled leave for all employees except those on medical leave. Bihar cancelled the leaves of police and disaster management officers. High alert remains in place in several border areas and emergency measures are expected to continue in the coming days. Let's have a look on today's sports story. WNBA legend Sue Bird has been named the first managing director of the U.S. basketball women's national team. Bird, 44 years old, became the first person to hold this role in the team's nearly 50-year history. She will now help choose players and coaches for big international games. Bird said she was excited and honored to serve in this new position. She will lead the team through events like the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup and the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. Bird also plans to work closely with leaders like Jim Tolley and Grant Hill. As a player, Bird won 5 Olympic gold medals and 4 World Cup titles. She retired from the WNBA in 2022 and will be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in September. She has stayed active with the podcast ownership roles and now this new job. US Basketball is the top women's team in the world. Bird said she understands the pressure, but she is ready to help keep the team winning in the future. We'll be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 19,262.38. The NYSE Composite is increased by 80.22 points or 0.42%. Tokyo stock close price is 36,779.66. The Nikkei 225 index is decreased by 51.03 points or 0.14%. Shanghai stock close price is 3,342.67. The Shanghai index is increased by 26.55 points or 0.80%. Hong Kong stock close price is 22,691.88. The Hang Seng index is increased by 29.17 points or 0.13%. Bombay stock close price is 80,746.78. The Sensex index is increased by 105.71 points or 0.13%. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. President Trump congratulates Pope Leo XIV, calls it historic for America. President Trump asks Supreme Court to cancel legal status of over 500,000 immigrants. President Trump plans to replace Ed Martin as the U.S. Attorney nominee for D.C. President Trump announced a US-UK trade deal focused on steel, autos, and beef. Governor Hochul secured $500 million housing plan to make home ownership affordable statewide. Bill Gates accuses Elon Musk of killing poor children by cutting foreign aid. Leonardo DiCaprio attends Met Gala with girlfriend Victoria Cheretti. World leaders celebrate election of Pope Leo XIV, first American pontiff. Russia welcomed US reporters to parade as Trump rebuilt relations. Missiles and drones hit Indian bases in Kashmir, power cuts reported. Schools closed and leaves cancelled in India over Pakistan border threat. And Sue Bird becomes first managing director of US women's basketball team. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel, and visit our websites. Our website addresses are www.millenniumnews24.com and www.millenniumtv24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all smart TVs and Roku TV, Amazon TV, Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with the Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BT Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.